Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. What I'm gonna do today is teach you how to do a thumbnail for your YouTube videos using The Sims. Now I have part 1 of this where I teach you in more detail how to extract a PNG transparent file for your Sims. So if you don't know how to do that, make sure you watch that one first. But in this one I'm gonna show you how to do more complex thumbnails with collage style like I do in most of my videos. So first of all, you're simply gonna take screenshots using the C key on your Sims game of all the outfits you want. Once you're happy, you're going to open your Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, make sure you watch part 1 and you're going to open a PNG transparent file. You're also going to open your screenshot and using the lace magnetic, you're going to simply trace along all the silhouette of your sim until you have a full circle. Once you're here, don't touch anything. Make sure you first change your tool to the selection tool. And when you see a little scissors next to it, you're safe to click on it and drag it to your other image, to your canvas. Now here is too small, so you're going to change canvas size, not image size, only canvas, and you're going to drag it, center, and make sure it fits properly. Then export it as PNG. What I want to do is exactly what I did here for my first lookbook, so I'm going to use a collage edit in PicMonkey. I could very well use line overlays like I showed you in part 1, but it wouldn't allow me to, for example, here really zoom in or create different styles that need more than a simple lines like this one, where not all the lines go all the way. So what I'm going to do is show you here, this is the basic size of a thumbnail as I showed you. And what I'm going to try is calculate the size that I need. So for example, to create this design, I need one bigger one, that's going to be a third, and then 4 smaller ones. So I'm going to divide first by 3, and that's the size that the big one needs to be. And then I'm going to divide the 2/3 in 4 parts, so that the 200 is what the small one is going to measure. So having these measurements in mind, I'm going to transform the backgrounds into those measures and then put the PNGs on top of those backgrounds and then add them to the collage you're going to see. So first I'm going to look for a background. I just press background and look for one that you like, that you want, maybe pink. I'm looking for pastel, so this one really works very well. I'm simply going to click on it and save it. Once I do that, I'm going to open in my browser PicMonkey, which is a free software that you don't even have to download. It's really good. I showed you in part 1, and I'm simply going to open design tab. And here, once I have that, no matter the measure, I'm going to open the background that I just downloaded. Here. Now, I want to resize it, but for example, given that the size is so different from what I want, if I were to simply resize it with the smaller part that I need, it would look like this, very stretched and really not beautiful at all. So instead of doing this, what I'm going to do first is crop it. So I'm going to try to imitate with my eye simply the size of the thing that I need. So maybe this, for example, and then I'm going to choose what part of the background I want. You can play around with this, it doesn't really matter that much. Or it does, whatever you want. And then I'm going to resize it. So I have the exact size for the thumbnail, but only after cropping it. So you can see it looks much better than the first instance. So now I'm simply going to choose overlays, open your own, and open the one that you created using your Photoshop. And I'm simply going to expand this, make it fit properly, and make sure I'm happy with it. Tweak it a little bit, and once I'm happy, I'm simply going to save it. This is going to save it as a normal file, not a PNG, just like a picture file. And then I'm going to simply slide this one to the side, and I'm going to open next one. The reason I'm sliding it and not deleting it right away is simply so I can afterwards compare the size and compare the position, so all the different images look the same with one another. So I'm going to do the same, tweaking it, making it look good, and then I'm bringing the other one around and making sure it fits. It does perfectly, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to do that with all the other images that I saved. So for example, in this instance I have 4 outfits, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of them and save them. Once I have that, I need to do the 1/3 kind of part of the thumbnail with the close-up. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to open the background and I'm going to crop it, and this time I'm going to also try to imitate that size more or less. I'm going to choose where I want it, And I'm going to crop it and then resize it with the exact numbers that we calculated in the beginning. So once I have that, perfect. I'm going to here, you don't have to do this, but I find that if the canvas size or the overlay is too big, it's a bit difficult to work with. So I simply, by changing the canvas size and not the image size, I simply kind of crop the picture and I export it and I can upload and I have kind of a more of a close-up. So I don't have to really make it bigger like I'm doing right now, but I would have to do it much more if I hadn't cropped it. Although in the end I realized that I wanted way more of a close-up, so I have to in the end also kind of make it a bit bigger, which is a bit annoying as you can see. So it's really fast to simply change the canvas size. But I'm happy with this, so I'm simply making sure I like it, centering, and then saving. Once I have all these things, what we're going to do is go to Big Monkey, but this time we're going to go to the collage. Now it's going to ask us to import all the images we want to put in the same picture, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, select all the ones that we just saved, and it's going to open to the collage page. Now here, what I'm going to do is first of all change the size, because this is going to be our thumbnail base. So I'm going to choose the size of the thumbnail, which is 1280 times 720, and I'm simply going to start placing the pictures where I want them. So that one is the big one that goes in that side, and then I'm going to place all the kind of outfit ones here. Do not fret, I know it looks like they're cropped and everything, but that's because they're all equal size now, and the one on the right, here you can change how much white you want in the spacing, by the way, but this is because the one in the right was smaller than it should. So the only way to do this, really, I wish you could really put a measurement down, but you simply have to tweak it and make sure they all look the same size. It looks a bit daunting at first, but really at the end it is quite easy, just using your eyes. And now I'm just making the lines a bit thicker or not, just simply to your taste. And once you're happy with it, you're simply going to save, and that's going to be your base for the thumbnail, where we're going to add the text now. So once that's saved, you open another tab and you also open Big Monkey again, back to the edit piece that we always use, and you're going to open the base that you just created. Now here, we're going to create the text. So what I like doing also is choosing a kind of base for the text. So I choose an overlay, a rectangular shape, for instance, and that's going to kind of create a background for the text. Now, of course, I'm not going to choose it black. Now, right now it looks very, very weird, but I'm simply choosing the size, and then I'm going to change the color. And what I also like doing is changing the opacity. So it looks like simply it gives a bit more of a background for the text, but it doesn't really, it doesn't look like a block in the middle of the thumbnail, you know? Don't get all my advice from this though, because I think my thumbnails can't really be read from afar. I don't know, you'll tell me guys, but I like making them beautiful, but it looks very different when it's big than when it's small. So here I'm simply going to add text, and this is what I wanted to say, and I'm going to here choose the typography that I want. I already know which one I want because I'm going to do it the same one that I did for the other lookbooks. So I'm simply going to place it, but I don't like this black. I think it crashes too much with the pastel pink, so I'm going to choose a gray. But I still don't want it to be too light because I want it to be readable, but I think this one will do. I love how it looks with all the colors, and then I'm going to use I'm going to add other piece of text and I'm going to change it. So here, sometimes I find it's very tempting to use very beautiful, for example, like this one, typography, but really this cannot be read, I guarantee. So sometimes I play with it and I kind of fantasize about it, but in the end, for example, this one, it's much more readable, and also it really looks very, very beautiful. So I'm going to choose this one, and I quite like it, to be honest. So I'm very happy with it, and now I'm going to simply tweak a bit with the size, with the position and everything until I'm completely happy with it. And once that's it, then I'm simply going to save it, and that's going to be your thumbnail with the perfect size for YouTube, which is the most important. And that's it, guys. I hope it really was useful, and I'm very, very happy that you are learning to do this and then you're choosing to share your work. I really encourage you to do that. So let me know what else you want to learn from The Sims, or how to do YouTube videos for The Sims, and I'll make sure to help you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Yarrow! slow, baby, don't.